boy. Oh, yo, yo. Let's move the mic a bit. It's on. Rich, can you let me know if you can hear the sound? Oh, actually. Is that echoing, Twitch? It's not like echoing, is it, Twitch? It's just not like normal. You can't. It's not like echoing in the mic or anything like that. Sweet, sweet. Let's go. Here we go. Eating my chili at the same time, man. I'm gonna eat my food. Chili. See what they gotta say.
We thought our world would last forever. Until a single virus destroyed society in a few days.
Drop it now, Justin, mate.
Here we are, 8 months later, and you haven't learned anything. Somehow, you can't see that you're making the same mistakes that brought it all down in the first place. Your job, Agent, is to protect this delusion. And I have sworn to destroy it. You can try to stop me, hunt me down, kill me.
Someone just put Corona DLC.
But this is bigger than any of us.
I'll put it full screen for you guys.
So you're gonna have to ask yourself, is this a fight you think you can win?
Good video. But hopefully the game's gonna be better.
Agent, listen up. You and your squad are urgently needed in New York City. A biological attack hit Lower Manhattan. We need your help to hunt down the one responsible. Aaron Keener. Call
Oh,
sign Vanguard.
baby!
He's the one behind the deadly attack on Division headquarters that killed dozens of top Division agents and countless innocent civilians. And we suspect he's just getting started. Keep in mind, Keener knows this city inside and out. And he's as cunning and as lethal as they come. Originally, Keener was one of us. But 8 months ago, the Division failed him by leaving him to die in the Dark Zone. That was the day he lost faith and went rogue. He disappeared and gathered all the tools he needed to engineer his own biological weapons. He doesn't just want revenge. He seeks chaos. He believes it is the only way for humanity to thrive.
That'd be cool. I've got a feeling it's going to be like Resilience, though.
Keener isn't the only one with an axe to grind against the Division.
That's what I
There
think
are
it's gonna be.
others. Keener has recruited 4 rogue
I reckon
agents
$40
who
as
not
well.
only share his extremist vision, they have the skills to execute it. They've worked their way up within factions ruling over Lower Manhattan. If we want to get to Keener, we'll need to go through them first. First up, Vivian Conley. Former counterterrorism intelligence agent and chemical engineer. Conley's last known location was the Two Bridges sector. A hurricane ravaged the coast a few months ago, so it's a far cry from the thriving urban sector it once was. Keener's second rogue agent is Javier Kajika,
Come on, baby.
a master of stealth and infiltration. He was a Black Ops hitman for the US government. With the government collapse, his loyalty goes to whoever will feed his need for blood. Our latest intel locates Kajika somewhere in the Battery Park area, the part of the city that's taken over by swamp. The terrain is rough and scattered with giant sinkholes that used to be subway tunnels. Odds are he knows you're coming for him and plans to use the dicey terrain to get the drop on you. Both Conley and Kajika work with the Cleaners, a former New York City sanitation unit that believes only fire can stop the virus. Conley was recruited by the Cleaners when she went rogue, and thanks to her technical expertise, they're deadlier than ever. We've been exchanging blows with them for a while, but their methods are ruthless, and their cleansing fire takes no prisoners. James Dragov, former police officer, a heavy weapons and defense specialist. His relentless fight for justice made him a legend on the force. Yet, his allegiance has changed. Dragov took hold of the financial district and has been using it as the center of his black market operation. Our intel suggests he's still there. Be careful. Major flooding has transformed the entire
Is that New York
district into a
or Washington,
mudslide.
guys? You're from the US. Is that New York or Washington?
Last but not least, Theo Parnell,
Cleaners, man, I love the
a
Cleaners.
drone engineer and skilled hacker. He's managed to stay off the grid, so all we can say for sure is he's a true master of decoys and deception. Keener's arranged for the Rikers to protect him at an unknown location in the Civic Center area. Dragov and Parnell have both been linked to the Rikers, ex-cons from Rikers Island prison. Regardless of who their enemies were in the past, they've agreed to band together. Their motto, power by numbers. And just like Keener, they thrive in chaos. Before you arrive at the base of operations with Agent Alani Kelso, I should warn you, a lot has changed in New York.
So you're going
Days when
back?
Division agents were
Come
seen
on.
as knights in shining armor are long gone.
Come
The
on.
people around here are survivors. Ever since Keener and his rogue agents took over Lower Manhattan, there's been a distrust of Division agents among civilians. Agent Fei Lau has been the acting commander
Cheers,
of the Division in New York City and is leading the hunt for Keener. Her methods are unconventional, but we're in a race against the clock, and Lau knows what it takes to get results quickly. You'll also find Paul Rhodes, now the leader of the civilian settlement.
Rhodes is back.
Because he's so tapped into the city, he may be able to help you track Keener and his rogue agents. Our mission is simple: find and eliminate Keener. But to expose our target, we'll need to take down his chain of rogue agents before they destroy us. Agents, the hunt for Keener is on.
Welcome to New York. I'm Drew Reckner, Associate Game Director on The Division 2. This is a gameplay walkthrough of
Matt, how's it going,
Warlords
man,
of
with
New
the
York,
stream?
our new expansion introducing a new area to the world of The Division 2. In order to avoid spoiling our narrative-driven campaign, some parts of the video are edited out. Aaron Keener has been spreading chaos here in New York, creating a world where the strongest will remain. To reach Keener, we must go for his followers first. The hunt has just started.
Parnell was an RPA pilot before he went rogue, so he knows drones inside and
Manhunt.
out.
Okay.
Rhodes told us that the Peacekeepers and Two Bridges have been tracking Cleaner movements for the past few days. This is our best bet to learning more about Conley.
Vivian Conley, former First Wave Division agent. She went rogue, losing faith in the Division at the worst of the collapse. She joined the Cleaners soon after, and her chemical expertise had made them deadlier than ever. This is Haven, our new base of operations here in New York. It was founded a few months back by first responders and civilian volunteers who call themselves the Peacekeepers. They have everything they need in here: security, food, supplies. They've been standing on their ground against the Rikers and the Cleaners. All of that without the Division. They have let us in, but to them, we are yet another group of troublemakers. We will have to earn their trust back.
We get a dog? Do we get a dog? Attack dog. I mean, instead of adding that in, fix some invisible walls or something. Man. Who wants to pet a dog? Come on. The revamped old base of operations. You can see the same decor, the same colours, the same everything. Just looks different. They just move stuff around.
Unbelievable. We're right back in the same goddamn mess we were in when Amherst unleashed green poison. I set up Haven without the Division and all the blood and violence you bring with you. And Faye, she's been flag waving from behind the authority of a Division badge for way too long. Don't make me regret letting you into my home. I won't forgive it.
Keener is putting a lot of pressure on the people of New York. They are on the edge, but these are the people you are fighting for. These civilians need to be given a chance to be safe and decide what comes next by themselves. We have been informed of a confrontation between the Rikers, known for attacking any kind of law enforcement, and the Peacekeepers at a nearby outpost in the Two Bridges area. This could be a lead to our next target, Vivian Conley.
Two Bridges was one of the areas that held out the longest after the outbreak. Many of the locals refused to leave their homes and move into Sarah camps. They tried to set up neighborhood community centers rather than relying on the government. Most of them didn't make it. With the Cleaners and the other factions wreaking havoc in the area, it was never really sustainable.
I want to see a bit of gameplay. Hopefully they show us some gameplay. And tell us whether it's PvP, PvE, or what.
I've got reports that the Peacekeepers are trying to take a Rikers control point. Give them a hand. See what you can find out for them.
Potato aim.
There will be new weapons and tools to play with, and one of the old favorites, the sticky bomb, has been brought back. It latches to surfaces and enemies alike. You can detonate it at the perfect time, providing new tactical opportunities in combat.
I've got a new PC, mate. It's on my YouTube videos. Go to my YouTube channel. Have a look at my last video that I uploaded, mate. You'll be able to see my games room. I like is that the AKM he's using? The AKM he's using. Sticky bomb. That's going to be interesting to see whether we get one-shot stickies in DZ again. That will come back. I'm calling it now. One-shot sticky bombs DZ.
Warlords of New York is also introducing a host of overall changes to UI and gear systems. Our goal is to ensure that gear and weapons have clearer intended roles, allowing easier decision making. You can see right away how much an item can help you optimize your gear later.
Sticky bomb.
Rhodes told us you're looking for a rogue agent working with the cleaners. Yeah, we've seen her. She's sneaky, but still seems to go out on missions with the rest of the guys. Check in with the community near here. They're keeping track of the latest news.
Sounds like Conley's been busy. Head to the community and see what they've found. We're getting warmer.
I think it's going to be 3rd of March it's released. I'm pretty sure. I heard someone say 3rd of March.
We have skipped some of the steps of our manhunt. As this is a main mission, we could complete it on our own, just like the rest of the game. But playing with friends can also be fun.
So
For
it's
this
not
last
PvP.
push, let's welcome another agent into our game and work together to take down Conley. After the outbreak, a devastating hurricane hit New York harder than any other city in the US. The city was flooded, blocking roads and collapsing bridges, all bringing the already quarantined city into a total state of chaos.
Time to take down Vivian Conley and hopefully get us one step closer to finding Keener.
This massive tanker has crashed onto the shore, creating an oil spill. Cleaners are harvesting it with the help of Vivian Conley to fuel their weapons.
Shit! Fucking oil gas! Somebody's gotta fix those cooling pumps! Fuck! Pull me out!
I don't know who does the gameplay here, but they're terrible. They obviously don't play the game though. Playing this on an Xbox.
Cooling pump system compromised.
Conley's not gonna like that one bit. Good.
Let's see what else you can mess with that'll piss her off.
We're watching the whole mission, or we're just gonna? I was gonna say, man. But they're not gonna show us the whole mission. They ruin it. Bit random.
Fighting indoors is more challenging, but different enemies have different weak points you can use to your advantage.
The same as before with the weak point. Big old cleaner. It's a big old Gregory.
We have fought our way through the ship. This is it. We are close to Conley. It's on you now, Agent. Good luck.
Here you are, like a moth to the flame. You really have no idea what you're doing.
Blitz, how's it going, man? Not gonna lie, there's nothing very exciting about that. So basically it's like 4 or 5 different story missions. What, is that it?
We at Massive are incredibly excited to bring this expansion to life. We worked on the Division 1, Division 2, and now that same team, we're working on this expansion. And this really is the opportunity for us to bring not only an exciting new narrative, but a lot of new gameplay and a lot of new improvements as well.
More than ever, I think there is something for everyone in this game, and that's what's really exciting.
It's new gear, new gameplay elements, new skills, new reasons to play the game.
No PvP. Why?
Warlords of New York is set in Lower Manhattan, a brand new area in the world of the Division franchise, which has been faithfully reproduced at a 1-to-1 scale. In Warlords of New York, you can push your agent further than ever before thanks to an increased level cap from level 30 to level 40.
But what if you don't buy it?
But hitting level 40 is not the end. Warlords of New York is introducing a new infinite progression system, allowing you to continue to improve your agent's stats and refine your playstyle even after reaching level 40.
That's good. I like
For
that.
players who have already reached level 30 in the Division 2, you can jump directly into the brand new campaign of Warlords of New York. If you are new to the Division 2, you can choose to start at level 1 in Washington, D.C., or start at level 30 in New York
they
City.
give you the boost,
Players
free
choosing
boost.
to jump first into Warlords of New York will be able to go back to D.C. once they have completed the new campaign.
We've taken a lot of feedback from our fans into consideration when developing this expansion. And that includes changes to the way that our inventory system works, changes to RPG, making sure that builds are now more viable than ever before.
Warlords of New York is expanding the amount of equipment available for agents. Our new arsenal spreads across new gear brands, new gear sets, new weapons, and new exotic items. Warlords of New York is also introducing major changes in the gear system for the Division 2. All gear and weapon stats are being streamlined. We're bringing in major improvements to our UI, ensuring that attributes and advantages are easy and quick to understand.
This is what I like.
Every single loot drop will be exciting. We're ensuring that you will always loot something that has a stat or bonus to complement your gear set and playstyle. And it's emphasized by the introduction of talent storage that allows you to apply bonuses that you have looted at least once to your favorite gear piece. All of these improvements will ensure that agents' builds can be as diverse as the playstyle you really want to dig into. The rogue agents you're hunting all have a unique specialized skill. When you eliminate one of them, you will add their unique skill to your arsenal.
Okay, that's cool.
Shock traps. These are the best tools for crowd control, since they'll incapacitate enemies and make them easier to target. They interconnect so you can create virtual tripwires. Just the thing for a surprise ambush or to give an agent enough time to find new cover when an unexpected wave of enemies rushes in. Echo-based hologram decoys. Use these to attract enemy fire so you can find new cover or draw the enemy to a specific position, giving you an unprecedented tactical advantage. Explosive sticky bombs, our new take on the fan favorite from the Division 1. They're long-range projectiles that need to be activated by the agent with a quick tap of the trigger. They can latch onto environmental elements and enemies alike. And fire-spreading sticky bombs, burning with an intense flame once set, continuously dealing damage to anyone in its range of effect. Playing with skills has never been easier in the Division. Thanks to the new tier system, you will directly see and understand how your gear impacts the power of your skills.
I don't like how
the dark zones from Washington,
damage goes up.
D.C.
Did
are
you see
being
that?
revamped. We are returning to a simpler rogue mechanic and rewarding players who help each other in the dark zones. Additional gameplay features such as legendary difficulty, directives, invasion difficulty level, and more are included in Warlords of New York. These additions expand the range of activities, challenges, and rewards available. Oh, and one last thing. It seems you're not the only one on the hunt in Lower Manhattan. Stay on guard at all times.
What's very important for us with Warlords of New York is not only to give you the fantastic story and hunt for Keener from level 30 to level 40, but also make sure that your experience continues and carries on once you reach level 40. So to do that, we're adding a new feature that is called Seasons.
Season
Pass.
Pass.
In post-launch, Seasons will introduce new targets to hunt down, each with their own stories and unique rewards. Each season will be filled with global events, leagues with leaderboards, and weapons and gear to unlock.
With the seasons, each activity will come with its own rewards, gameplay and cosmetic to really be able to show your achievements and show how well you performed.
Seasons will reward you with apparel, equipment drops, and resources. Players wanting even more can opt for a premium paid track for additional rewards. More to come as we get closer to Season 1.
Man. More pay,
the hunt for Keener starts now with Episode 3, the prologue to Warlords of New York. Episode 3 is a free update that includes 2 new action-packed missions in a brand new area, Coney Island, plus a new endgame specialization.
Episode 3 is actually the beginning of this whole new phase. This is the episode that introduces the whole narrative and the whole reason and motivation why you are going back to New York that will then culminate with Warlords of New York. So this is really the right moment to get back into the game, to get started.
Episode 3 will be available to play tomorrow, February 12th, for all owners of the Year 1 Pass. And it will be available on February 19th for all players of the Division 2.
Week before, that's fine. So tomorrow's release.
Warlords of New York is a great time to join in and playing the Division 2.
Division 2 is already a fantastic game, and we're building on that.
Warlords of New York will be available on March 3rd, 2020. Owners of the Division 2 can directly purchase the Warlords of New York expansion. For new players, bundles including the Division 2, the Warlords of New York expansion, and more are also available.
How much?
Good luck out there, agents.
How much is it?
The hunt is on.
Some fancy loot boxes. That's right. That'll be next. Pay to win. No, it's not so pay to win, but we'll watch the post show as well, guys. We'll see what they have to say. I mean, if I'm being honest, it's not that exciting. What, 4 or 5 new missions? Depends how much that's going to be. And my question is, what if, say, we don't buy it? Can we not go to level 40 then? Do we not get the level 40 thing? You know, why should you have to pay to be able to level up? This is how it come across. It's come across like if you don't get this pass, you can't get past level 30. Surely that's not fair. I don't know. But they're gonna be right back. So we are gonna watch the whole thing. But this is the time for a quick chat. Let me know in the chat what you think. Personally, I'm not impressed because they're saying they've listened to the community, but they haven't because there's no PvP there. They're not fixing anything to do with PvP. There's not any update to PvP. In that New York part, why don't they put the Dark Zone, the D1 Dark Zone back? Something like that. I don't get why they've... Sticky Mombat. Yes, that's exactly what I just said, Lombax. Literally what I just said, mate. I said there's going to be one-shot stickies in the Dark Zone everywhere. It's free for all Season 1 pass. No. It's a separate pass, Camel. You have to pay for it. This is year 2. You only get year 1. So now I got the Ultimate Edition on PC. So that's not Ultimate anymore. This is what I was tweeting out earlier. They've turned my Ultimate Edition into non-Ultimate. So I would have been cheaper getting the Standard Edition and then just waiting and paying for each different thing. Because 140 for the Ultimate Edition. The basic game was only 50. So I paid like loads more money for nothing. I paid like 90 more for nothing. For one season. When the season itself is probably going to be, what, 25, 30 bucks? Or 30 pounds? I'm hoping anyway. I don't even know how much it's going to be. Like, what? It's a bit... yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like torn because I like the fact that some of it's free. Like you get the 3 free missions, and if you've got the pass to the year 1, you get it a week before, which is fine. What's happened now? What's happening here? Is that it? Finished? Oh, post show. Here we go. So the stream is lagging. This is free, Rebecca. No. This is year 2 content, man. Warlords of New York's going to be year 2 content, I believe. That's what they've said on Twitter. That is, you have to pay for it. Or is it just paying for the pass? Like, I don't mind that. That's fine. But I'm under the impression that this is paid for. I might be wrong. I don't know. It better be free. It's going to be cool if it's free. Like, I'll like forgive a little bit, but still, there's no PvP for me there. Like, I like the build where the gear set things where they're going to tell you exactly how far it is to map, stuff like that, which is cool. Let's watch this now, guys. See what they've got to say.
We thought our world would last forever. Until a single virus destroyed society in a few days.
Isn't this
Here
what
we
we
are,
want?
8 months later, and you haven't learned anything.
We don't just watch this. Exactly what we've just seen, right? Why are they replaying?
Somehow, you can't see that you're making the same mistakes that brought it all down in the first place.
I'm replaying the video.
Your job, Agent,
I haven't replayed
is
it.
to protect this delusion. And I have sworn
It says post show
to
now.
destroy it. You can try to stop me.
How am I replaying it? I mean,
Kill me.
let me refresh. It says post show down here. This should be the post show.
But this is bigger than any of us.
Oh, so. But they're live. It says. Live now. This is live now, mate.
So
This is not replayed. This is live now. Look.
Is this a fight you think you
Literally
can win?
live. When it doesn't know. This is a slightly different video clip, I think. Yeah, it's a slightly different clip. Let me make it full screen first.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the post show for the Warlords of New York. Reveal, this is I'm excited. I'm trying to keep my my hype. Like, I want this stream to be like a chill session of just hanging out and
Business
talking about
as
the stuff
usual.
you've seen.
Yeah.
But like, my adrenaline is going kind of through the roof. I don't know about you.
Super exciting, man.
It's kind of
Super
crazy.
exciting. Yes.
I realize my phone is in my pocket.
Ah,
with
that's
this-
why I was like, I hear voices.
It's fine. I hear my own stream. You know what? I'm just going to chuck it over the floor and not deal with it right now.
There you go. That's what you get phone for.
That's what you get. We were just checking that the stream was live. But welcome everyone. We're going to be here. I did say on Twitter that we have. I asked if we had a time limit from the overlords or the powers that be.
Yeah. Mhm.
They said it's more important that we cover everything that we need to. I'm
Okay.
taking that as license to just hang out.
So all night long.
We'll be here all night. It's going to be a good time.
Old-fashioned all-nighter.
So I'm here. We've got Yannick, we've got Drew,
Hi.
but we're going to have more guests throughout the
Yes.
show. So we've got a bunch of other people who are going to be joining us to talk about every facet of the whole thing.
Totally.
But let's take a look right now at the agenda for the show. We do have a few topics to get through, so we're going to just show you those right now. So we're going to go starting off with an expansion overview. We're going to take a look at the campaign. Spoilers, because that's kind of a big
People in the
part.
chat are saying that it's $30.
Sure.
But I don't know.
The
We'll see.
new endgame, we've kind of got a bit going on there. We've
Echo.
touched on the RPG overhaul as much as we can in previous State of the Game streams, but we can finally unleash the hounds, so to speak, on that conversation. So we've got some chats about
Piece
that.
that puzzle together.
Exactly. And then I know a lot of people are going to be excited to see what we're going to be saying about the Dark Zone.
What about now?
There's a lot to go through tonight.
Yes.
It's currently 8:30 p.m. here in Sweden. Got my coffee, and we're going to just see where the conversation on the road takes us. People are already hopefully seeing this beautiful environment B-roll.
Yeah, it's just behind my head. So wait, depending on the camera.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I'm hiding the title, so it's
Is it okay now, guys?
of New York.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't say D's of New York, it's fine. All right, great.
Oh wait, no, it's the.
But before we get to that,
If we,
we've talked in previous streams about what episode 3 is.
Yes.
Yes.
We haven't talked about when it's coming.
good.
I'll let you guys do that. I really want to like blow the lid on that one. But can you give us a quick rundown on what is episode 3 and when is it coming?
Yes, so episode 3, I think I'll start with the when. Episode
Please.
3 is coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow, February 12th. Finally,
Sigh of relief.
finally, we can give a date. Yes, so episode 3 is coming out tomorrow. So what episode 3 is of course, it's the final episode of all the 3 episodes we had announced. And the idea with it is that it's, you know, with episode 2, we kind of wrapped up a part of the story with going to the Pentagon and you know, and actually getting the antivirals and all these kind of things. So with episode 3, the idea is you've kind of like, in a way, contained the Black Tusk, and now you can refocus a bit on the, you know, the hunt for a cure for the virus. And episode 3 sends you to Coney Island, New York, to get the virologist Vitaly Chernenko. So that's really the opening of a new story in a way. So that's really for us the prologue to then everything that happens in Warlords of New York.
That's right.
So playing episode 3 is basically getting ready and you know, getting started to get involved in the story of Warlords of New York.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice. And it's coming very
Drew
soon.
agrees. So
I completely agree. I have a lot of valuable input here.
Yeah, I've already seen you know, people
Yes.
you know, internally as well saying that they're really proud of the missions and the classified stuff, that like it feels like a step up. So I'm really excited for people to get their hands on
it's
that.
really cool. It's a lot of fun, and of course you get to face a few of the cleaners and these
That's
kind of
right.
things. So yeah,
That's right.
it's you really get a first taste of what
Yes.
is waiting for you
Exactly.
then
It
in
kind
New
of
York.
Sets up everything nicely.
Nice. I would, now knowing that Warlords of New York is a thing, people that are interested in the whole lore of the whole, how everything's going to play out, maybe you'll see the episode 3 trailer with different eyes now.
That's right.
That you kind of know
Yes.
some things are happening.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Just you know, let the brain take over with that one. There's some things to think about there.
Yeah.
So, the reason we're here, Warlords of New York.
Yeah.
You've been working on this.
Their stream keeps. That's their stream as well. It's not mine. Ah man.
For a while.
For a while,
right,
yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is
It feels great to be able to talk about it finally.
Yeah, finally, yeah.
How hard has it been to kind of just, you know, stay tight-lipped on it?
Oh, I mean, like every state of the game that we come out and
Yeah.
talk about things, it's difficult to not talk about this is the roadmap.
Well,
this is.
I would say how hard has it
things
been
are-
for the community also to just like hear us be like,
Yeah.
yeah, so in a future update,
Yeah,
there's gonna
right.
be some content and like
Well,
we're
now you
gonna
know
be
what the future
changing a few
update
things.
is.
Now we can actually put a
Yeah.
name and a proper context on that,
Right.
so it feels good
That's
for
right.
all of us and for everybody watching, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think the first thing that we should just get laid out on the table is what is Warlords of New York? It's because people were having some conversations
Yeah.
last night. Is episode 3 the expansion? What does an expansion mean? Because we've actually never done an expansion for any Division game ever.
That's right.
Yep.
This is the first time.
Can we just lay out the difference? So episode 3 is entirely separate from this insofar as that it's not the same content, but it is narratively a prologue
That's
for the first ever Division expansion.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
cool.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's well, no. So episode 3 again. It's an episode that comes with a title update as well, title update 7. That's all going to be made available on the game for everybody that owns the Division 2. And then on top of that, on the 3rd of March, we have the expansion that comes out. That comes also alongside the title update. And this is a completely different things. And of course, that people have seen is a paid expansion. So it's a content that you actually purchase and then
expansion.
get access to.
Okay.
Exactly.
Told you.
Now, Drew,
Knew
the
it.
elevator pitch for Warlords of New York.
That's
if
right.
If I gave you like a minute to tell me what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Warlords of New York tells the story of the hunt for Aaron Keenan.
Yeah, they are, Matt. Yeah.
Right? The big baddie.
Period. Done.
That we
I like
had all the way from the beginning of Division 1, right? We are seeing the kind of conclusion of that story arc that involves him, right? So, Warlords of New York is an expansion, right? Which means it's a brand new
Everyone's
campaign.
kicking off about paying
Right?
for
It's
it.
a campaign in
chat.
a
It's
brand
going
new
crazy.
part of town. So we have a brand new map. It is Lower Manhattan. So if you've been to New York, you'll know that Lower Manhattan, it's, or downtown Manhattan, it's a financial district, right? Division 1, we were in Midtown Manhattan. This is Lower Manhattan, completely different part of Manhattan, but of course it's very iconic, right? There's Wall Street, two bridges, Chinatown, and you can see Liberty Island offshore. Like, I mean, it's really iconic place, right?
Cool.
And so this is our new playground, right? Is Lower Manhattan. And so we have 4 new name zones. They're big. Now it's worth mentioning, we've recreated Manhattan 1-to-1 scale, which we actually didn't do a 1-to-1 scale in Div 1 when we did.
There was some streets cut
Midtown.
out, right?
Exactly. We
Yeah,
kind
it
of cut
was a bit
out some of the
different,
less
yeah.
interesting streets and stuff like that. But this time, Lower Manhattan, 1-to-1, which is super, super cool.
Which is the same approach as we did for Washington.
So I
Washington
mentioned
too,
PvP
right?
in it.
Exactly.
Apparently
Actually,
it's
Alan, can we take
£26.
while we're chatting about this, can we take a look at
$30.
the environment art? Because we have some really pretty stuff. We have it up on the screen behind us, but it'd be really cool to,
Yeah.
to show people
$30
at home,
apparently for the expansion.
some of that. She's gonna pull it up in a second.
Expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that part of New York has so many different, I mean, we would call them biomes, but like there's a lot of different like landmark and different types of
There is,
areas
right.
and like visual differences and all that sort of thing.
What's interesting too, right, is like we're seeing New York in the summer. And this is a summer that has been devastated by a hurricane. So the same hurricane that hit Washington, D.C. in the summer hit New York even harder, right? And you see the remnants of that hurricane everywhere. You see mud piles, you see streets buckled, you see trash heaps. I mean, you see everything. And it's a former dark zone, right? And that hurricane hit that former dark zone, so you kind of see the remnants of this dark zone everywhere. So it's a really cool environment, right? So we have that campaign in the brand new area of the map. Plus, I would say there's kind of 3 parts, right? That's part 1. Part 2 is our overhaul to our core systems.
Yep.
Part of that, of course, is our kind of what we've been calling Gear 2.0, or I guess our community's been calling Gear 2.0. But it's our RPG overhaul in general.
Yep.
And there's actually a lot of different components to that. There's also like Dark Zone revitalization, which we can talk about later. And then the final pillar is a brand new endgame. So we have brand new activities in the endgame. We have a brand new calendar of activities that we call our seasons, which brings brand new kind of mini narrative kind of campaign and hunt for a new target and all sorts of cool activities that I guess we'll mention later. So
Yeah, we're talking about that in just
we have a whole segment dedicated to it, right?
Yannick, can you give us the
Hamish.
rundown on... Wow. Hey, man.
Hey,
How you doing?
nice seeing you.
A lot of people will want to know, like, what do I need to do to get it? Like, price, what do I get? What do I
Price.
get? All
Yep.
that sort of stuff. Like, can you give us the rundown on the details?
Yes, so as we said, Warlords of New York is a paid expansion. So what that means is to get access to the content, and I think we'll go a bit into the difference between what's part of the title update that is free, that comes title update 8, that will come alongside Warlords of New York, and what comes actually as paid. But basically everything that takes place in the New York map, the story and all of that is part of the expansion you're purchasing. So that expansion is priced at and I apologize, I don't have all the currencies in mind, so I'll be using euros.
Lazy.
It's priced at 30 euros for existing Division 2 players. So what that means is if you own the Division 2 already, you can buy Warlords of New York for 30 euros. If you're new, if you want to join the Division 2 now, you can actually purchase a standard edition that includes both Warlords of New York and the base game for 40 euros. Or then you can purchase an Ultimate Edition, again for new players, that includes both Warlords of New York, the base game, and also all the content from the Year 1 pass. So that is the immediate access to the specializations and the classified assignments.
Okay.
But these are again for new players. For existing players, it's just the expansion purchase, €30.
See you later, Twitch, man.
If you're really paying attention, some places you can buy the game for less than €10 or $10 right now. If I was one of those people that got like a mega cheap deal on it, I could still pay the €30 and get it.
Yeah.
But what about the people that paid
When you
$140
say existing
for the
players,
game
it's
and then you
existing
want
players
another
by
30?
the time you make your Warlords of New York purchase.
Just saying,
So
keep an eye out.
Yeah, of course.
and get involved.
Yeah, and you can just totally buy the base game, see if you like it, and then decide to. You don't have to buy the whole package, right?
Yeah, it is, like you said before, I do want to reiterate, if you own the base game, there's still new things that you get in TU8.
Yes.
Like we've talked about.
Yes, and hopefully we can kind of like talk about that throughout today.
Yeah,
as
we'll try
well.
and keep coming back to it because I do think that's going to be a recurring question. One of the things I did want to show, so people who have stuck around since the main event, let's call it that, they would have seen some environment.
Take care, come on, man.
Haven.
Bill, how's it going,
That's
man?
what it's being called in the
How you
game.
doing, bro?
That's right.
Which is essentially your base of operations in
Essentially,
Lower Manhattan. That was that footage was captured a while back.
It was.
We actually
It's-
have some
it's changed
new stuff.
since then, yeah.
Can we? We're gonna sit around and chat through it, but I just thought it would be really cool to show in all its 60 FPS glory.
Yes.
It's it is
Yeah,
smooth.
Yes,
60
FPS, please.
Yes, please. It's pretty. So shout out to all of the artists that worked on this. Not just the environment artists, lighting artists. Damien, woo.
Yeah.
It's
and Jeremy
and his team.
And,
Everyone.
And everyone
It's
involved. There are lots of people.
It looks incredible. This was taken, I want to say today, this morning.
Because this is a bit fresher
I'm good,
than
Phil,
what was
mate.
shown.
Yeah, I'm fucking good, man.
Yeah.
Like
Checking
some
out
of the
this paid
captures that
expansion.
were shown earlier.
30
were
quid.
Yeah, that's
a
right.
bit more dated.
It
builds,
said
right?
it said it came from an early build.
Yeah.
And it was.
This is more recent. This will be close to what people will get on March 3rd.
Yeah.
There may be some
There
you
might
know,
be
bug
some
fixes and stuff like
further
that.
improvements.
Tweaking a few things here and there. Yes.
This.
Oh my god.
Puppy!
Oh my god.
You didn't see that, Hamish.
So rude.
Look at him, he's so cute.
So rude, just walking by.
Adorable. But I think this is huge. Really cool. Someone says the floor looks really nice. It does look really nice.
It's a good looking floor.
Is that a sticky bomb on the backpack?
It is.
Damn.
It's the good ice. It's the explosive variant.
Those reflections are pretty dope. I love it. I'm
Beautiful rug. Yeah.
I'm very, very happy. Oh, look, there's a cat.
There's a cat.
Cheshire. Did you see it?
Hamish is just going to point out all the animals.
That's why I'm here, man.
This is stuff
Look,
that should have
there's an
been
exit sign.
included
Oh
in
my
the
God.
game, man.
So exciting.
Well,
Not spend
I'm
$140
legit
or
excited about it.
£140 then have to pay
It's cool,
another
though.
30.
It is
It is
really cool. It's super pretty.
Really?
I mean, I'm a huge fan of all of the art team and everyone that worked on that. The best in the biz. You guys, I'm very proud to work with those people, to be honest. Makes me feel smart by
They're awesome.
like proximity.
They're
Just
awesome.
I'm
sitting
not.
next
but-
to them. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I'm like, look how good I am at it. No. But awesome. So I hope people enjoyed that. What do we move on to next? So actually,
Yeah,
I
man,
want to
I don't know,
go
man.
back. Like we alluded to the fact we wanted to clarify some
I don't know
Title
if I'll get it.
8 stuff. Let's do that now. So we said that we've over the past few weeks we've looked at Recal, skill power refactorization. We're calling it the gear game, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Can we kind of clear that up as well as the whole gear score 515 thing?
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's a little bit of complexity that goes on there as to who gets what and all of that. So where do we start?
So basically, all of those Gear 2.0 improvements that we've talked about, and the RPG overhaul, that's for everyone.
Yeah, you don't have to buy. You don't have to pay a cent to get it.
So recalibration, stat storing, skill power, the new skill power tiers, all of that is for everyone.
God rolls.
TU8 God rolls being back, exactly. And then, right, so Gear Score 515.
That one's interesting.
Yes, so for all players in World Tier 5, the max gear score is no longer 500. It is now, there's new power to gain, which is 515.
Okay, that's good to know. And I just kind of want to give the example of how that works. So let's say I'm not going to buy Warlords of New York, right? I'm sitting at gear score 500. As soon as I go out into the world and things start dropping, they'll be somewhere between 500 and 515, maybe lower because there's still that stuff.
Exactly.
Right?
But exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So you'll have a range. So that range has now essentially been increased. And you'll notice that the 500 to 515 is going to be, they're going to be better gear pieces than 500, for example.
With all the UI changes and the way that the...
Yes. So you'll be able to see exactly in what ways it's better and everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And then we'll talk a little bit about what happens when you travel to New York and what...
Yes.
We're going to go... I think Andrada and Trek are going to talk about that with us a little bit later on. But at its core, Warlords of New York is a narrative-driven campaign.
That's right.
Right? So we start with, I guess, that kind of a call to action. We're hunting down Aaron Keener.
That's right.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Can we actually show that poster of Keener? He looks like a badass. It's actually just one of Yannick's headshots. Yeah. That, look at him.
Look, it's exactly...
It's basically you.
Exactly me. Yeah.
It's. I have to say though,
it does look like Yannick.
No, it
exactly
is so
what I was
cool to have Aaron Keener
Yes.
back front and center. Like,
Oh, I love it.
I'm so excited. Like as a fan of you know, the first game. Obviously, I worked on it too, but as a fan of it, I'm super excited.
Yeah,
Like when we first started talking about this expansion, and like this expansion, we're gonna hunt down Aaron Keener, and we're like that. Just I got so excited.
It's been a no-brainer for everyone, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, as soon as we knew we wanted to make an expansion, and like, you know, everybody was like really excited at the idea of going back to New York and really kind of like closing that thread of like going back to, you know, what we've left behind with New
the
York,
Dark
so going
Zone
back
maybe.
to
How about
Keener
do
and some
something
of the
with
other
that?
NPCs that we had in the first game. I think everybody was really, really excited about it.
Keener has some buddies though. I mean, I love
He
any.
does.
I'm a sucker for
Yes.
any kind of narrative that involves a
He
Joss
does.
Whedon ragtag group of
Yeah.
either
Mhm.
heroes,
Yes.
but in this case, villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much we want to talk about their differences and how you'll interact with them. We'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah, I was gonna
think.
say we could talk about it later.
Um,
I could sit here all night and talk about all things
Well, we will.
Warlords of New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
The level cap. What's happening with that?
But one thing that I would say just on the all the villains that are is that they really each one of them has like a real backstory and real motivations and everything, which I think is just really exciting. You know, it's not just like NPCs that you're gonna go there and fight, right? It's like they are real characters, and I think that's what's very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked a bit about gear score. I kind of want to go through how the player will experience this because there's a change happening with Warlords of New York.
That's right.
I'm 500 to 515 in DC.
Yep.
I go to New York. What happens?
Yeah. So when you go to New York, your first task is going to be trying to level up to 31.
Great. But before that, I don't see gear score anymore, right?
Nope.
I will be visibly level 30
You're
in
level
New York.
30. That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
But of course, your gear will be as good as it was when
Yeah.
when you left Gear Score Town.
But you won't see gear score.
That's right.
If you're one of those people that leaves DC, you won't see gear score again.
That's right. Yep.
Cool.
That's exactly right. And then, of course, Warlords of New York is a journey from level 30 all the way to level 40. So we have a brand new level cap, which means you grow even more powerful than you ever could before.
Cool.
Yeah.
We've got the map expansion we talked about before. The factions. I know that this is near
Yeah.
and dear to your heart.
Yep.
If anyone in chat says, "Oh, you just copy and paste things from," no.
Not at all.
The copy and paste talking point will not work here because I have Drew to tell you
That's right.
that's not how
He
this
knows.
works.
That's right.
He knows about it.
So cleaners and Rikers. Let's actually start with the cleaners, and
Yeah.
we have a picture of. I like showing pictures, so let's have a look at these bad boys.
But
I want to kind of start at the talking point that I brought up just now. How are they different from the last time we experienced the cleaners? Not just from a narrative standpoint, but technical standpoint as well.
Yeah, okay.
Because
well,
that's kind of the key,
I
right?
mean, so narratively, right? Like, yes, like Joe Farrow's gone, right? And they have a new leader, essentially that's been kind of molding them and training them and giving them new tech, which is Vivian Conley, as we found out through that trailer.
so one of the rogue agents of Keener.
Exactly.
Right?
I do just want to give a quick shout out to, we actually have a community member on Twitter whose actual name, not just screen name, is Joe Farrow.
That's amazing.
I shit you not. Hey man.
Hey, Joe Farrow.
Super cool.
So this is not the Joe Farrow
Yeah,
that we
not
took down.
that Joe Farrow.
No, but I
that
think
Joe Farrow's probably a really cool guy.
I think that's so cool. If there's a legit Faye Lau out there, or anyone with the last name Lau that wants to name their daughter Faye or son, go for it.
Yeah.
Prove your dedication.
But the cleaners, right? So what I think is really cool about the Cleaners is so like I'm a little biased, but
I'm a bit
they're one of
bored
my
of this.
favorite factions. Like if in the Division IP in general, like I really like and I don't think I'm alone, right? Like I think the Cleaners kind of connected with a lot of people in terms of their story, background, etc.
Yeah, a lot of people just love to burn stuff.
Yeah. So we have them, right? And then we've made a ton of AI improvements in Division 2, right? Which all came from our learnings of like the hunters and survival. We basically took all of those learnings and created a new AI, recreated everything from scratch, re-engineered everything, right? And so now we finally get the chance to kind of merge these things together. So not only do we have like the weak points and everything like that that's tied to all the skills and disabling their skills and stuff and the destructible armor system, but we also have like the opportunity to go like to push even further because of their narrative to give them all sorts of cool new tools and tech to make them like really diverse and stand out from any other faction that you fight.
Will there be any surprises, do you think, for players? With the Cleaners kind of, because I know you're from the AI side, so do they think differently?
They do. So the important part, right, was to make sure that they were still identifiably Cleaners.
Okay.
So they'll still, when you fight against them, they should still feel familiar. You know, you still get the assaults, the grunts that kind of want to get in close and use their flamethrower and circle around you. In fact, actually, we went to silly lengths to make sure that that tank is in the exact same position. So when they lower that shoulder and run, you can hit it.
Still can pop the tank.
Like that was, we really wanted to do that to make sure that people were like, oh, okay, like these are like still familiar. But right, so under the hood though, they're making a lot of different kind of decisions about, especially the greater tactical awareness our NPCs have about flanking and using teamwork and cover fire and kind of all those advanced tactics that they use. So I think it'll be really cool for players to see the new tank, or the, as we called him, the heavy flamer back in the day, because he has a new destructible armor system, and each of his weak points actually does something. I don't think I want to spoil it. We can talk about it in a couple weeks on Stay the Game with Mackenzie here. And then, of course, they have some new tech and tools that are super fun to play with.
All right.
Yeah.
Can we say the same for the Rikers, or is there anything else? I want to take a look, because we have some art for those as well.
So the interesting thing about the Rikers, right, is this time around, I think especially, like we really wanted to kind of find out who the Rikers were kind of as a faction and really kind of lean into that even more than we did before, I think, really making sure that they feel really different to fight against and not just another faction. So visually, by the way, like I think people automatically notice, wow, they have faces. Yes. So you can actually see their faces now. They're not just all like, people in ski masks.
She's badass, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. But you have the rushers that are dual wielding SMGs, and running at you with them. They're super cool. We have a tank that has like a flasher on a shield, and he uses a nail gun.
A nail?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay, I'm not like feigning that I don't know that. I legit
and the
had no
nails
idea
like
it's a nail
stick
gun.
in the environment, stick in the targets and stuff
£140.
like that.
What?
Cause bleed.
Now I have to pay another 30.
Then we also have like what we call the OG Rikers.
Oh, this is stupid, man.
Which are they're actually Rikers that survived. Because a lot of the Rikers actually were not original Rikers now. They actually got like recruited, so they've been like kind of recruiting. But the original Rikers that have stuck around are super battle hardened, and they're like super elite and badass. Yeah. And so you'll sometimes run into them, and they're like kind of a little wild card thrown into the.
Interesting. But I think that's one thing about the factions also that's really cool is, I mean, you like as a player, you went to Washington DC and you've been fighting there, but meanwhile, like shit was going down in New York, and so the factions have been there and they've been fighting, and they've been fighting against division agents. They've been fighting against each other. So it makes sense that they're all still a bit more battle hardened and actually just more equipped and stronger, and because they've been at it for a while now, and they're still there. The factions still exist even though they lost their leadership. So of course you can expect that they're also a bit better fighters than what you made from the first game.
And we should probably talk about LMB.
We should. It's not in the notes, but I.
It's not in the notes.
Oh no, it's not in the notes. No, but we should. This is why we're here. And again, I said it before, and I checked with people, so I couldn't get fired. But
people,
I don't have a time limit.
That's fine. Drew's gonna get fired, not you.
Exactly.
So.
Bye, chat.
But
it was nice. It was nice knowing you.
But if we're talking about Allenby, we kind of need to talk about Black Tusk in the same operation, right? Like.
Exactly. Okay. So, as you remember, right, like in Division 1, the Last Man Battalion, the Allenby, their leader was taken out.
In true Ubisoft style, the helicopter
goes down.
Yes.
So basically, like any kind of private militia, and I think John actually alluded to this back when we did our narrative recap. Like they basically would go to kind of the highest bidder, or the person who would pay them the most, which at this time, right, is Black Tusk, right? Because Black Tusk has a ton of resources. They obviously have a leadership structure in place and stuff like that. So they basically got recruited into Black Tusk. So now Black Tusk is now basically reinforced. So gameplay-wise, what this means is maybe you thought Black Tusk was getting a little stale every time you fought against him. Well, we've refreshed him. So there's a new Rusher in town, and it's actually the LMB Rusher. And so they're the Rusher, and the old Rusher is now, we have renamed Drone Operator.
Okay.
And they're now less kind of often in combat. And there's also the new Support, which people might remember from the LMB, which has basically a healing hive that heals everyone nearby in a radius.
Oh man. I remember that one.
And not from the LMB, but there are 2 new Big Dog variants.
Woo.
that have been added.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool. All right.
So, yeah, someone is asking if the Outcast and the Cleaners will actually be working together. And, well, the thing is, first, they're in different areas.
Too far apart.
Because the Cleaners are in New York and the Outcasts are in DC. And also, even though they both use fire, so I can understand why people would think, oh, they are very similar. They are, like, in terms of ideology, they're completely on the two opposite sides of the spectrum. Because on one hand, you have the Outcasts that are actually, I wouldn't say using, but, you know, like they have things going on with the virus and all of that. And they're survivors from the epidemic or from the pandemic and all of that. On the other side, you have the Cleaners that just want to get rid of the virus by burning everything to the ground.
If anything, they would probably be the Cleaners' biggest target.
It's like, even though they look like they might have similar means, they actually have very, very different ideologies. So
And they fight very differently as well, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's, it would take a lot to make them working together.
I think a future stream, I mean, I know we've said there's like no time limit here, but if we're going to go deep into like AI logic, which I'd love to do at some point, we should do a whole stream on that, exactly how they think, because that'd be super cool.
Yes.
We've got the 5 new name zones you kind of mentioned before.
4.
Right?
4 plus Haven.
That's what I mean. It says 5 here, but that's what is meant by this.
I think that's probably what that means.
Yeah, because it has a name, and it's big and pretty.
It's a zone.
Yep.
New
it
main
technically is, actually. So they're technically correct, but yes, it's 4.
Please do correct if any of these come out wrong. 5 new main missions?
5 new main missions.
It's a little bit, I guess, not misleading, but that's not, we need to say more about it, because we've said main missions for episodes, we're saying main missions now for Warlords of...
But yes, the important thing is it's very different, right? So Warlords of New York is all about an investigation. So you are there hunting Aaron Keener, and to get to Aaron Keener, you need to find out where he is, right? And the best way to do that is to find his lieutenants. And so you have his rogue agent lieutenants. And so you actually have clues that you have to kind of follow and investigate to discover locations of these agents, and you basically track them down. And usually the end, not always, but usually it ends in a main mission. So we actually have side missions and other content that are kind of all pieced together with main missions to kind of create this investigation thread.
Yeah, we have the 8 new side missions, like you say, the open world activities. And
Living world system, of course, returns. So we have all sorts of fun Cleaners, Rikers, and other factions battling in New York.
And I think that's really important to say, because it's not just a map where you go to do your your story content and then you go back to Washington DC, and like it's really a whole new piece of map and also a whole new piece of endgame, and that comes with it, with all the activities, all the things you can explore, like all the exploration you had in Washington DC, going going off-road, going on the right, and then discovering a new space, and like locking or shooting a door and then going in and all of that. You can expect all of that in New York as well. So it's really just a whole entire new piece of world that we're putting out.
And a few secrets.
I love that you would do that. Someone was asking in chat, are there more control points?
8 control points.
That sort of thing. We're going to talk a bit about more things in the open world. We've just started the stream. We're going to be, we're already running way over time.
So.
My favorite podcast host always Troy LaValle from Glass Candy. So it's like, we're going long.
We're going long, yeah.
We're doing that.
Yep.
Those guys are actually from New York as well, so shout out to Glass Cannon.
Who's totally watching, I'm sure.
They're not watching. I would love if they would. I think you will be joining us a little bit later in the show. Stick around. We're going to have maybe some Q&A at the end. We'll see what happens.
I think I'm done watching, guys.
Yeah.
I think that's it, man.
Oh my God,
this
there's
is
so much to talk about.
We'll chat. But for now,
I'm going to end the stream, guys.
we're
If you want to go
gonna
and watch it, finish it off,
do a
you
little bit of
can
a
watch
transition
on
so we can
Twitch.
unhook these guys from the
They're
microphones.
live, the Division
bring on
game,
two new
but there's
guests,
nothing
and
really
we'll be
there
back
now for me,
to
to
talk
be
about
fair.
the new end game.
We know
with
what's
Trick
happening.
And Andrada, so this will be.
I don't know. I'll do a reaction.
Anywhere.
A reaction
make sure
video
you get some more
shortly.
snacks, more coffee, more
But
tea.
take care, everyone.
whatever
Thanks a
you're
lot for tuning in.
imbibing.
I'm going to be streaming
Get more
again
of it,
later,
okay.
maybe, on Division
We are
2
going long.
on PC.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Check me out later, guys. And see you in a bit. Don't forget to hit that like button.